What's going on, everybody? Mark Fleetwood here. Welcome back to the Daily Grind Trader. Today's video is going to be about the crazy price action that we've had the past 24 hours and what we can look for potentially moving forward. Guys, I don't know if you can hear my voice. I haven't been feeling well recently, so please bear with me. It might be a little scratchy, might be some coughs here and there, but please bear with me. I'm going to give you all the information I have on price action for Bitcoin and Ravencoin. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Alright everybody, before we get started, just remember I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I share my technical analysis publicly in hopes that you guys can use it as you see fit. But remember, you manage your own money, you manage your own risk. That being said, we're going to hop right into the Bitcoin chart because Bitcoin did something that I was afraid was going to happen, and I actually mentioned it in prior videos, the rejection of 52K. 52K got rejected hard last night. This was at about 11 p.m. I'm sorry, this was 11 a.m. I apologize. So hard rejection off of 52K at 11 a.m. and the price went down hard from that point. It did not respect the trend line. We had a pretty solid trend line. We had a touch here, double back to it, didn't quite touch it, double back to it, did touch it, came back, and then went right through it. That rejection of 52K was a killer. Now, as of yet, we've had a support at the 47.4 line, which was a support resistance line previously. You can see it held support here, it was a support here. And on smaller time frames, you can see it a little bit more clearly. If we go to the hourly time frame, you'll see it a little bit more clearly here. Was a kind of a resistance here until it broke. But it was a line that we've been on quite a few times. If Bitcoin can break this downtrend, and this newly formed downtrend is not anything of any substance yet, any substantial meaning yet, because it's a very small trend line. If it breaks through it and it starts breaking up into these new lines of resistance again, back to 49.5, back to 50,800, 50K800, and then 52K, then all is good. However, if it fails to break this, we're looking at 45K at the least, 45.4, this line here at the least, or at the best, and all the way down to 42K at the worst, all the way to the very bottom of the sell-off. There was a time where I thought that we needed to touch this 42K sell-off line one more time to get that springboard bounce. And I'll be honest with you, I got a little overzealous thinking that this move was going to be the move off of 45K and that we would not touch this. But with how hard it's rejected, I can't say I'd be surprised if we do. But I'm watching this trend line very closely. If we reject off of here, I'm shorting it down to 45, and if it rejects again, I'm shorting down to 42. And at that point, we should be blasting off with so much buying pressure from this 42K line. I would love to see the order books from all the exchanges. I bet 42K has a ton of buy orders already lined up. But I'm starting to think more and more that this absolutely just has to be hit. It's just going to have to happen, but time will tell. Now, how does this affect Ravencoin? Well, Ravencoin was kind of lucky in the sense that it has not fallen as far below the trend line. When I made the video here talking about this area where I thought we would go parabolic, and I got lucky. I'm not going to make a statement that I called a perfect call there or anything like that. I got lucky on that. I wasn't expecting it to go this parabolic. I thought maybe to this range here and then come back down and test up. But it went much higher than I thought. But the trend line failed to hold its support, so now this top level of support that was a resistance at 9.62 cents here, and you can see this was a line that was hard to get through. It was just hovering on it for so long. Now that held as a support. If we reject off of this, we're looking down to 9.26, or even all the way down to 8.57. And if Bitcoin makes the rejection all the way back to 42, that would likely put Raven somewhere between 7.8 and 6.4. It would be somewhere in this range. As of right now, Raven is ranging a little bit higher because it did break out of the upper. So this upper line here is the equivalent, the 960 is the equivalent of the 52K line for Bitcoin. is where Bitcoin got trapped and it got stuck and rejected off. So Ravencoin is currently trading a little bit stronger than Bitcoin. So if I had to guess, I'd say the bottom for Ravencoin would now be about 8.1. But I'm not going to make that projection until we get confirmation of either a break or a rejection off of this trend line. But as of right now, I mean, that's just, it is what it is. Bitcoin rejected hard off of 52K, and it's pushing everything down. Everything, you can see my whole list of crypto is in the red today, other than FTM, which just continues to just plow through. And FTM actually did hold its trend line, which is interesting that it was able to do that kind of individually of anything else. Excuse me. But FTM is being a beast right now. But Raven, I think, is still trading stronger than Bitcoin, and could potentially break this line and get back up to its trend line support. If it can hold this support line, then it's going to grow, and it's going to make its move independently of Bitcoin. But if it stays below this trend line with Bitcoin, if they both do the same thing, if it keeps in lockstep with Bitcoin, then it's going to do what Bitcoin does regardless. But there is a potential of the causing Ravencoin to get out of lockstep and do its own thing. But for today, that's all I really have. Sorry I don't have more for this video, but just wanted to give you an idea on the price, current price action and potentialities. Watch this trend line. Watch this trend line like a hawk. If it breaks up and retests and holds it, then we can get back to the upward trend line. If it fails to break this trend line, then we're going down. We're going to see 9.2 down to 8.5 cents. And we're really just going to have to watch Bitcoin and see where Bitcoin goes. 42K all the way down to 42K is a potential. 45.4 is the most likely scenario. That being said, guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed. As always, until next time, peace.